morning. I am visiting my parents in Fraser, Colorado, and out for a walk today. I've been up here for a few days, and I took the pack out yesterday in the snow, did some training at altitude. I'm about 8,800 feet high right now, and it went super well. I was really happy, did some hills training with the pack, and was a little worried about how I would do, but I felt stronger than I thought I would. It was really good practicing not collapsing on my knees. My right knee hurt a little bit, and I noticed that, while I was walking uphill, I was kind of like hunching over, so kind of like tucking the pelvis in, keeping my chest nice and wide and upright. Really helped. Like the twinge in my knee kind of helped because I could tell that it was better when I wasn't collapsing. So that was really good practice. I really needed that. Also, good cold training. I think it's probably, maybe like 10 degrees now. That's probably what it was yesterday as well. So, good training in the cold. It's different than rain, for sure. I actually prefer walking in snow over walking in rain. But Colorado doesn't really get any rain, so this is as much practice as I can get before hitting the AT. So I am just out for a morning walk today. It's beautiful. I love snow, and I think the sun's about to come out, and I just didn't want to miss a snow day walk. So I'm taking it easy today, though. I've kind of been fighting a few things. I've had a few hurdles, and so I'm giving myself a rest day from my pack. Plus, I've been figuring out a lot of gear with my dad this week, which has been awesome. So my tent is actually set up right now. My bear bag is hanging. We've been practicing with my Garmin InReach, which is my GPS tracker. So lots of good stuff, but my pack is all kind of not packed right now. But I did want to give you an update. And so another reason why I'm walking is so you could come along with me. And so there's a little bit of a hill that I'm going to climb. And when I get to the top, I'm going to try to show you a view and just tell you a couple things that have been hard this week. So preparing to take the AT is not all sunshine and rainbows, let me tell you. But that's okay. We're doing it anyway. So let's go hike this hill and see a view at the top. There's still a little bit of a veil of like fog and snow, but you can see the mountains behind me a bit and the sun coming out. It's gonna be a beautiful day. I love snow. I love the mountains. But actually that is one reason I'm really excited to hike the Appalachian Trail. I was considering the PCT, and I still actually would love to hike the PCT someday, but and there's a lot of reasons that I chose the Appalachian Trail this year instead. But part of it is, I know people say it's a big green tunnel, you don't have a lot of views, but I've never been in a big green tunnel before. I've just kind of had views of mountains that are beautiful, and I love them, but I've had mountain views. I've never had a big green tunnel. So I know some people say that kind of discounts the AT experience, but I'm actually really excited about it. So, but honestly, I grew up in Colorado, born and raised. I live in Denver now, not the mountains, but gosh, it doesn't get better than the mountains of Colorado, does it? I love it here. So this week has been really good in terms of getting prepared. I honestly feel like I could leave like this week and be prepared and be confident that I'd be fine on the trail. So that's awesome. I've been practicing setting up my tent in different conditions, on platforms, on the ground, in the snow. I slept in it in the snow and it was great. I've decided to bring Gossamer Gear the One with me. So it's a one-person tent. It is a not freestanding tent, which means it doesn't have poles. You use your trekking poles as poles instead of tent poles, and then you stake it out really well. So they're harder to set up than tents that have poles. They're not as intuitive, especially for me. I'm just like I'm clumsy with that stuff. So I've been working on it. It's been going really well. I'm really happy with it. To be honest, I don't like it as much as my freestanding tent. I have a Big Agnes Tiger Wall UL2, but obviously with the tent poles, it's clunkier, it's heavier to bring, and especially this winter, warmth is huge for me, which again, the Big Agnes would probably be warmer, but with the liner that I have a Tyvek liner for my sleeping bag. I have Enlightened Equipment's the Convert, which is a 10-degree bag. So I'm really bringing warmer, clunkier items anyway, and a clunky tent on top of that. Not that it's clunky, you guys. I don't want to badmouth Big Agnes. It is a superb tent. But as thru hikers know, you got to dial it down. You have to save weight somewhere. And so I'm going to do that with my tent. So I've been practicing with my tent. That's going well. I've gotten so much better at setting it up. Been practicing with my bear bag. So I'm going to do the PCT method of hanging up my bear bag, which again, I was not a Girl Scout or anything like that. So I'm like, what knot is it? It's like a clover hitch knot. I was like, what's that? How do I hang this up? Got it dialed, you guys. Like, I am a bear bag champion now. So I'm really excited about some of the stuff that I've been able to dial in this week. My GPS, I have a Garmin InReach, so dialed in my emergency contacts. I know how to send an SOS. I know how to send a message. I know how to send my location. So that's awesome. Huge safety thing. And also is fun just to like clue my parents in as to where I am, what's going on. I am going to make sure that they have David's AWOL guide to the Appalachian Trail when I'm gone. I have it. My parents are going to have it. And it's awesome because it dials in everything on trail within like 1/10 of a mile. So it shows you where water is. It shows you where shelters are. It shows you where you can get off into town. It shows you what's in the town, where you can get shuttles, where there's bears, what the elevation is. It's so cool. So I'm really excited about that, and I know my parents are too. So a lot of safety stuff we're dialing in. I'm gonna get out of the way of this plow. And one thing I do want to clarify, just for especially friends and family watching, I have been planning this out for about a year. So I haven't talked about it, and that's mostly because I was afraid of reactions, and I've been blown away and like frankly in tears by people's support so far. So thank you. But you know, it's like I'm quitting a job that I love, a very stable job. I'm leaving my husband for 6 months. Like, it sounds crazy. And it kind of is. So, you know, I've been planning for a really long time. I just haven't been vocal about it. And so some of these things, you know, that I'm working on, are just like, I don't know, I guess stuff that I definitely need to get figured out, like how to use my GPS, how to set up my tent for sure. But it's been a lot of trial and error. And so now I have the gear that I want, after researching for a year and just figuring that stuff out. But I've been planning, I promise. And I don't condone anybody just being like, I'm just going to go hike the AT without a plan. I don't think you'll get very far. I really don't. So definitely plan hard. I know that it's kind of a split decision to go this year, but my decision to hike the AT not split decision at all. It's something I've been working on for a really long time and have gotten a lot of advice and also gotten my family involved. So we're super excited. It's here. It's going to be next month, the beginning of next month. I booked flights. I booked a room at the Amicalola Falls Lodge, which is right at the base. So it's actually at the base of the approach trail. You have to hike about 8.8 miles before you even get to Springer Mountain, which is the start of the Appalachian Trail. So on the first day of my hike, I probably won't even be on the AT, at least for most of the day. So yeah, Patrick's flying me down. We're gonna fly to Atlanta, drive to Amicalola Falls. I'm going to start on March 9th. And for the women of the group, y'all pray for me, because I track my period and that is the first day. So am I crazy? Yes, absolutely. But let's get the bad stuff out of the way first, right? I don't know if that's the best strategy, but I guess I'll tell you on the way. So now for the not so good part of the week. I've been fighting really bad eye inflammation. It's something I've been dealing with for a really long time. It's really uncomfortable. It kind of feels like someone is taking like a little knife and like poking you in the eye all day. It sucks. It's part of the autoimmune disease stuff that I deal with. And on top of eye inflammation, I went and saw my ophthalmologist and my eye is super dry. She was like, imagine like the driest skin you can imagine, like cracked, gross. That's how your eye looks. And I was like, great. So it's not any fault of my own. It just is that a lot of autoimmune diseases like Sjogren's syndrome and like mixed connective tissue disease, which is one disease that I have. It's just something that happens and it sucks because it's really painful. So I unfortunately am one of those people that have to deal with a really bad flare-up of this about once a year. I was really hoping though, especially because I've been working so hard at keeping my inflammation down and the rest of my body feels so good right now, that I wouldn't have to deal with it. And also normally I deal with this in the fall. So it usually happens like the first snow, which is usually around October. When it gets cold, that can be hard for people with autoimmune diseases, like the sudden change in weather. And this year I escaped that. I got other illness, but I didn't have issues with my eye. I didn't escape it. And, you know, thank goodness I'm not on the trail while this is happening, but it's just, it's hard. I like fear being sick and flaring up on trail. I'm worried about it. And so, you know, it definitely feels like something heavy on me right now, because it could happen again while I'm on the trail. So I need prescription eye drops. I've been working with doctors, but it just sucks. It hurts. It hurts right now. It's hard to get through the day. And yeah, it's not impossible. It could be worse, but it's just really annoying. And it just is hard not to feel defeated with this going on with my body right before I leave. But here's how I am trying to look at it. It's a test about how badly I want to get on trail. It'd be so easy right now to just give in to fear and say, well, if you flare up on trail, it's going to be awful because you're not going to have your bed. You're not going to have your family close by. You might not have cell reception to call your doctors. Like, better stay at home. And that's an attitude I think I would have had in the past because sickness is scary. Autoimmune disease is scary. It's not something to take lightly. Yeah, but like I said last week, like I'm pushing my boundaries. And there are things when you are flaring up where, yes, you should get to a hospital or get to a doctor. This is not that. This is pushing through pain, yes, but pain that's about, I don't know, potentially gets up to a 5 or 6. It's not a 10. It's not something that needs immediate medical attention. It's just something that I have to push through. And so it really is showing me how badly I want to hike this trail because I'm willing to push through this to get on trail and push through the fear of what if it happens again to get on the trail. So yeah, I'm looking at it that way. And, you know, like I said, I prayed so hard about this trip, especially because I am leaving like so many good things behind to go do this trail, and it seemed pretty crazy. And I had this moment last night where I was working, and it was just kind of a tough situation at work with a customer, and I prayed about it. And let me tell you, it was like the most miraculous thing, because the situation totally changed. And it was a little moment, but I was like celebrating, and I was telling all my coworkers about it. And I was just so happy, because what it showed me is like, it was a little thing. It was a little moment, something that maybe I wouldn't have even prayed for in the past. But I asked God to just change it and to do what he wanted with it, because I was clearly getting in the way. And he did. And that shows me that God can do whatever he wants. And if I'm supposed to flare up on the trail, then it's going to happen. If I'm not, then it's not. And, I have a feeling I will flare up. I don't think that this is going to be some miraculous trip where I don't feel any crazy autoimmune joint pain or eye pain or anything else. But I think that if God wants to give me the strength to push through, then that is what's going to happen. And so, I think that this situation is hard, but it's good. It's strengthening me to get on the trail. So I am grateful for that. Hikers call hiking type 2 fun, which means it really is fun after all the hard work and like crawling up a mountain that you have to do. And I'm learning a lot of lessons about type 2 fun. It is not going to be easy climbing the Appalachian Trail, hiking the Appalachian Trail, and a lot of times climbing, there is crazy elevation gain in Georgia, you all. That's part of why I'm up here at 8,800 feet, working on getting a little acclimated. Nothing that high in Georgia, but I mean, there's days where you go upwards of 3,000 feet up and down, and that's crazy. That is crazy. So type 2 fun, there's going to be a lot of climbing. It's going to be hard. I'm getting strong, and I think that God's preparing me for the journey. So I'm really excited. So also, I think I found a trail name. I'm not going to tell you here because it won't make sense. So if you're not my friend on Instagram, go take a look at my stories. You'll see the trail name that maybe I've chosen for myself. Everyone on trail gets a trail name. So I won't be known as Elise on trail. I'll have kind of a funny name, and it's just something that characterizes you, a piece of your personality, or maybe how you look, or a piece of gear you have, just something fun. Yeah, so it was just a nice light moment, a good moment to laugh. You got to do that when you're having type 2 fun. Find all the moments to laugh. So anyway, thank you for coming along on my walk this morning. It's just beautiful, right? You can't beat Colorado. I will walk soon, I'm sure. Again, a gear video is coming soon. I promise. I don't know if it's going to be here in Colorado. It might actually be on the trail. I've heard from some hikers that they get bored, especially the first few days, because they're not pushing miles. They're trying to get acclimated, and then they get into camp in the afternoon, and they're like, now what? Because, HBO Max is unreachable. So we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to show you my gear, but it's going to happen. I'm so excited. What is today? February 2nd. I'm leaving to Georgia March 8th. I start on March 9th, so almost a month. Everybody, I'm so excited. And I'm excited to keep bringing you along with me. Yeah, thanks for your encouragement. And happy trails today. Have a good day.